All right, the second track on the Eraser EP is Playing Dead, which was our first single off of this release. And we've had this one since 2024, actually. We did this as an Against the Clock exercise on the same night where we did Dark Space, Project Apathy, Medic.
Yeah, I think pretty much all of other tracks that we released before this came from like those sessions, I think, for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
And
absolutely.
we both knew we wanted to do something with it, but it kind of, I guess had to have the right moment.
Yeah, I mean the early version of it was a little softer, but we always liked it so much. And the goth club that we play at here is called the Coffin Club. And the minute we were writing this, I think even in the Against the Clock video, you can hear me say, this is the most Coffin Club song we've ever made. And now we've actually performed it there. So it's just like a really cool full circle. But anyway, the track, it always felt cinematic, and it always felt like we could do something just bigger with it.
Yeah, and I think this is one that, I think we have some tracks that come together really easily, or just like are very similar to like the working demo that we started with, and this is one where it went through continuous like evolutions.
Yeah, after we started playing our first shows, we've only played like 3 shows total, but after our first 2 shows, I got a sense for what songs would be like when we played them live now. And so Playing Dead was the first track where I was thinking about, oh, what will this one be like when we're doing it live? So the opening sort of, opening strings and stuff, I was like, this would be a really cool way for us to like start a live set or something. So I was definitely thinking about the way this song ended up because of, I knew we were going to be doing a lot more live performances. And especially the ending is obviously our favorite part. That outro is so fucking cool. And the minute I got that synth, I was playing it, like I figured it out, and I was like, this sounds really cool, but I was always making mistakes, and I played it over and over and over, and I had it hooked up to a guitar pedal, and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever come up with. And I immediately sent it to Lucia, but there wasn't any vocals there. It was just pretty nothing. And I was like, I want it to be simple, but I know Lucia will do vocal things here. That was always kind of like, that was always what I had there. TBD, Lucia will do some cool vocal stuff there. So when Lucia came over to do the vocals for it, I just let it run. And I actually had a video of that exact moment where they came up with everything on the fly. That's pretty much just one take, that vocal stuff at the end. I got chills. Like, I always know when things are right, when I'm just like, oh, I get goosebumps and stuff. And that was the moment where I'm like, we got it. That was it.
Well, and I remember having like no clue what to do going into that like recording session, because I was like, well, the fucking like ending and the instrumental is so badass that I'm like, I don't know what to do on top of it. Like, what am I gonna add to it? And
Yeah.
So had no idea what, like, if anything was gonna work, or like what to lay down. And if I remember correctly, like the first several takes were in my head not going well at all, and so I was getting really frustrated. And I think when I was at the point where I was just so frustrated, that's when that take happened.
It came out, yeah.
And also because I think I hadn't listened to like the most updated version of the ending, and so I was like not knowing exactly where changes were, and I was just like, I don't even,
No, I think, and that was the last take I think that we had done. So you were definitely like warmed up. You were in the headspace, and yeah, I'm sure the frustration of not quite knowing what was happening next. It really, I don't know. It's really cool. I'm so happy I have video of it too. I'll definitely play it here. I think as a first single for this concept EP, it was cool because it really set the scene, because we were really wanting to go into a darker sound. Definitely on my end wanted to utilize more industrial sort of textures. So I was like going into my garage, banging things with a hammer. I have like random like metal sounds in there. And this is the first time where I was like making metal samples to incorporate in the track. And you can kind of hear it. Even I work in a warehouse, and there's like tons of different metallic sounds there too. So I was bringing my voice recorder and, recording little textures here, and they'd make it into the final track because I was like, okay, I want to imbue this track with more industrial stuff. And I love the sound of metal and reverb.
And I think this was, like, again, one of the first ones that all the things we've been talking about, like, that we pretty much fully implement now, like making our own samples and all that. That's kind of when we finally had a chance to start implementing it, because it matched and it fit with the song, and it's definitely something that is continues to guide our process.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this was the one where everything's kind of culminated into like, everything we wanted.